And joining us today, great to welcome in our book talk segment, one who's written a very interesting book. I think it's going to enlighten a lot of people out there. It's called Women Who Don't Wait in Line, Break the Mold, and Lead the Way. We're joined today by Reshma Saujani on the telephone, and she's had a very interesting career, continues to do so, and we're going to talk to her about it right now. Reshma, good to talk to you. How are you today?
Good to talk to you, too. How are you?
I'm doing great. Had a chance to read through the book over the past couple of days. And before we talk about that, I grew up in New York, so I know how difficult it is to be in a political field up there. I know you went through that running for Congress a couple of years ago, but do you kind of miss that a little bit now as we're heading into another political season?
Well, no, I recently actually ran for public advocate because I was a deputy public advocate. So
right.
I went through the ringer again recently. And, look, I think the political process in New York is hard, but it's such an amazing city. And if you could make it through that process, I feel like you can make it through anything.
I was going to say, you had a lot going up there with Spitzer and Anthony Weiner and all that, the sidelight stuff.
There was a lot of noise in our race.
But congratulations on that. That's kind of the theme of your book, giving women maybe some insight and help on maybe kind of becoming better leaders. And I guess also there's not really a lot that women are taught in school about that, or they're not given that opportunity. Is that accurate?
No, I think that's right. I think we're also tell young girls to, don't be bossy and, cross your legs and don't play rough on the playground and don't steal toys. Like we're always told to kind of tone it down and to be nice and pretty and play with your Barbie. And, that sticks with us. And so when we get into the workforce, we don't ask for the raise we deserve. We don't ask for the assignment we deserve. We don't sit at the table. We sit in the back. We don't lead. And we don't demand opportunities for leadership. We got to change that. Women's leadership roles are just stagnating. And what's fascinating is they're stagnating at the same time that we're the majority. Women are the majority in the workforce, the majority in college, the majority of breadwinners, the majority in the ballot, who vote in the ballot box. So why aren't we using this power to see see these numbers really change? And that's what this book is about.
Have you found, Reshma, in your experience and just from observing, and talking to different people, it seems that maybe some women make the mistake in leadership that they have to act like men, and that kind of hurts them in a way. You don't have to act that like men to be a good leader if you're a woman.
Absolutely. You got to be you. You see this now with we have a president who's clearly an alpha male who demands 5 days a week he wants to have dinner with his kids. Who would have thought? Right? So we're seeing men and women, show themselves. Technology has really changed that. Before women would say, I didn't put pictures of my children on my desk because I didn't want people to think I wasn't serious about my job. Well, now there's Facebook, and they know you got kids. They know last week you went to their birthday party, right? You can't hide the other dimensions of yourself. So you then, I talk about this in terms of what you wear. It's really interesting. Up until 1993, if you were a woman, you couldn't wear pants to the United States Senate. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
So clothes have always been a way of how women, I think, have been, subjugated and gone on defense in the morning. So even just getting up in the morning, wearing what you want to wear, finding your own voice, not having to talk like someone else. Those things empower you and empower women, and we have to embrace those.
Who are some of your, and I know you talk about it in the book, but some of your mentors or role models, not only as a young adult maybe, but maybe as a child? Did you look up to anybody that kind of gave you this feeling?
My father's a role model for me. He's also my harshest critic. Mm-hmm. My Hillary Clinton is somebody who I think from a celebrity point of view who's a role model for me, somebody I admire because of her resilience. My girlfriends are really role models for me. I think that so many of us have horizontal mentors, people in our peer group who give us advice. For my source of inspiration, it's the young women that are in my program, Girls Who Code. I see young girls taking 2 trains a day to go to a computer coding class that happens over the summer for 8 weeks every day when they could be out there swimming or playing basketball because they're committed to their educational growth. And that inspires me.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, the girls who code, and again, another stereotype, even going back to elementary or even high school years, girls aren't thought of as being interested in science and math as much as the boys are, and maybe that's kind of geared toward the male species, those subjects in school. Is that changing?
It's not changing fast enough. We girls are still think that way, that these are not, these disciplines are not for them, even though they're scoring better than boys are on tests. I can still walk into a store and buy a girl's t-shirt that says math sucks. Girls think it's okay to pretend that they're not good at math and science when they actually are. When you think about the AP Computer Science exam, only 4,000 people took it, of which only 500 were girls. So it's not changing fast enough.
Yeah, it's too bad. But it's getting better, but a long way to go. Let's talk about a couple of things you talk about in the book. I thought one was kind of interesting. If you're a woman, apply for a job maybe you're not qualified for, but you're going to learn in that process. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yep. Fake it till you make it. Oftentimes if we're offered like a plum assignment or a new assignment, we'll be like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for that. Or I don't know if I have the time for it. We try to rationalize why we can't do it because we think it's too hard. And men just take it. And if they fail, they fail. And we have to do the same thing. We have to, I tell women who are reading this book, actually go apply for a job you're not qualified for. Like, just take that step of how it feels to do something like that. I get rejected all the time for things. I apply for things I'm not qualified for all the time. All the time. And it gives me strength. It gives me confidence. And that in itself is a really important lesson to learn.
And I think, again, not to sound sexist, but men are probably a little bit more comfortable, if that's the right word, with taking risks and even
getting rejected
and failure. Yeah. They're not that they like it, but we like it, but you're more used to it from a male standpoint. Is that right?
Yeah, it doesn't devastate them the way that it devastates us. There are so many women who ran for office, lost, and then never ran again. And men will lose race, like, oh, I increased my name recognition. And women will be like, I let people down. That's the difference.
You talk about kind of building your own network, get people around you that are successful, or you can go to, kind of build your own mentor group, I guess. That's important, right?
Yeah, I would say, like, we have to build a support network amongst women. We are committed to one another's success, and we have to build a support network for ourselves. I always say, have your own personal board of directors, and I'm serious about this. Find 4 or 5 people, not all friends, who commit to basically meeting with you once a year, twice a year, and you need to write a mission statement, and they're going to hold you accountable for that. Men kind of have these personal board of directors naturally in their lives. We don't do that. We don't have a group of people who are committed to making sure that we achieve our goals, and we need to do that.
Do you find, Reshma, and you're right in the middle of it with the political career going and activism and all that, do you still find the real chauvinist men, or are the attitudes getting better?
The famous, I think, here are the two comments, I guess, that I have after this most recent race that I ran. One of my opponents that I ran was a guy, and he had Chuck Schumer make a television ad with him. And Senator Schumer raised money for him, called in favors for him, called in endorsements. He had a real sponsor, someone who validated him. Mm-hmm. None of us had that. And that really makes a difference. And so we need to, as women, we need to sign up to sponsoring more women and to playing that role that Chuck Schumer played for Daniel, for the other women. Like, I think that's really important. 2, the majority of women are still not voting for women. And even if I really believe if there are 2 qualified people, one's a man, one's a woman, vote for the woman. We're never going to crash through that 16, 18% unless we utilize our power as women. We're still not comfortable as a society with female leaders. We're just not. But women are more comfortable, or should be more comfortable with them. And oftentimes it's like we wear it as a badge of courage and be like, oh, I didn't vote for her just because she's a woman.
Yeah, we need to
have a real conversation about that.
I would say there still is a thought among women then, that may be more willing to vote for a congresswoman or a senator, but they maybe not governor or president, obviously. I mean, that hasn't happened yet on the top of the ticket, but that could be coming soon, right?
Yeah, and that worries me, though, because I'm a big Hillary person.
Sure.
I don't want to see it happen again. Like, I want us to have this conversation that I'm trying to inspire in my book so it doesn't happen again.
And the name of the book is called Women Who Don't Wait in Line, Break the Mold and Lead the Way. We've been talking with Reshma Saujani today. Reshma, if we had more time, but hopefully we'd have you on again. Give out your website or where people can get this book.
Sure. It's womenwhodon'twaitinline.com.
Oh, that's easy.
And I hope everybody downloads the book, buys the book, throws a failure party, gets engaged.
That's great. Great information in it, and it's a positive message as well. And I guess the underlying theme is don't be afraid to take a bit of a chance in your life, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Reshma, good talking to you. We'll hopefully do it again.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug.